Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining today. My name's John O'Perrin from Hubify, and I'll also be joined by Phil Matashevsky. And the primary aim today is to take you through a brief Microsoft Copilot journey, including some implementation and adoption tips. And Phil's going to be running through a little bit of a demo as well. Really appreciate you taking the time out. So, what I'm going to be starting with is just paring it back a little into most of you I know are going to know what is Copilot, but just very quickly to give an understanding is Copilot's an AI-powered assistant, as we most know, designed to enhance productivity, provide intelligent suggestions and automating routine tasks. And it serves as a really valuable tool across various business functions to streamline operations. There's two primary components. One is the free version. That's the Microsoft Copilot web version. It's available for everybody at copilot.microsoft.com. And I liken that to being very similar to ChatGPT, which most know about. The difference with that one is it can't access your internal organization files or data from your own organization. So it's not going to pull that information for ongoing workflows and that type of thing. You've then got your paid version, your Microsoft 365 Copilot Premium version. And this boosts productivity and optimizes workflows within the 365 stack and all of the applications within it. So Excel, it might assist in formulas or graphical ideas. It might produce documents in Word. It could produce a presentation in PowerPoint. With Teams meetings like this, it can summarize, it can get an idea of how are people feeling, who spoke most, what were some of the actions that needed to come out of it. So all different elements of your 365 stack is where it ingratiates itself into those applications. So what I'll be quickly running through is a implementation and adoption guide. This is going to be very high level. My piece is only going to be relatively small. The highlight of the show is going to be Phil's piece. But this just gives a really high level thought process behind what you need to think about if you're looking to adopt it. And even some of you may have adopted it, but maybe aren't necessarily getting out of it what you were expecting to. So this will just give some high level components, which are broken into 4 phases. The first being the get ready phase. So for those that haven't yet implemented it, the first and primary one is to review your security and data settings. For those on here that are potentially our Hubify managed service customers, we're going to have an idea around what your security and data settings look like and where you are in that journey from being able to adopt not just Copilot, but potentially any other AI platforms as well. You want only the right people with the right permissions to be able to access certain content. You don't want really sensitive content being accessible by Copilot by the wrong people, because then that can get in the wrong hands and become public as well. So prior to rolling out, it's just important to audit those data access conditions and retention controls and the sensitivity labels that you may have already set up. Step 2 in getting ready is being really intentional with the seat assignments. Who are you actually looking to give a Copilot seat to be able to maximize the impact? And you want to really focus on those high usage areas. So bear in mind, some of what I'm going through here may be aligned more with mid-market and even into corporate and enterprise. So it'll just be for those that are sitting in, say, the smaller end of town with maybe 20 seats or below even, then it just gets pared back a little. So you want to concentrate the seats in 2 or 3 areas of the business so that you can really prioritize those different components. Look at some 365 trends across your business and who's adopting the different components the most, because they're going to get the most out of it. And there should be a really clearly defined goal for each of those use cases. You might have a business analyst in your business who half their time is literally analyzing a whole lot of data, of which 365 Copilot in Excel might, on a monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever it might be able to do all of that component for them. So then that allows them to do really the job that you're wanting them to do, of building more data and being able to present it. And you want to establish, the third piece of this is to establish an AI council. Now, again, that may lend itself more towards mid-market or enterprise, but it's really important to at least have an adoption group or AI council, so that it's a crucial step behind getting sources of feedback, and the drivers of adoption. Normally, this needs to start from an exec level, and definitely a champion. That can be one and the same as well. If the exec is quite AI proficient and knowledgeable around the area, but that's where you certainly want it to start to ensure that you're getting that adoption. And then the final component of this getting ready is encouraging the development of new work habits. So integrate the AI tools into daily workflows. Know that pending your workforce, you're going to see a combination of enthusiasm and skepticism across it, because most people, when these types of AI platforms are adopted, the first thing is, what does this mean for me? Is this something that's potentially going to replace me? That seems to be across plenty what that first thought process is. So it's really about communicating why you're potentially adopting this, which is to get the most out of that individual. And part of the training, it's really important to communicate what Copilot can and can't do. Phil is going to go through a little bit of this as well. And equally as important is when human interaction is still absolutely critical. So then we get to the onboard and engage stage. So this is accelerating the usage and engagement with Copilot, and to enhance the adoption of it. Creating a community similar to what I was talking about before with that AI council is absolutely critical for sharing best practice, and this obviously depends on the size of business. This can be as simple as creating a Teams group chat for those that have those Copilot licenses, for them to constantly be talking through, hey, I found this, or I just did this training, here's a quick summary on some extra components that it can do that you may not have known about, or does anyone know if Copilot can do this? Has anyone had experience in this? The other one is to identify the champions. Who are those really early adopters who are taking it on board to do a whole lot of extra training and the likes, because they're going to be the key for driving that wider adoption as well. And then the last in this piece is ensuring that ongoing training is there. Now, there's an absolute host of different online training tools available, and this really helps users refine their skills and adapt to new features as they go, not just go, hey, I found Copilot worked for this and sticking just with that. It's all about then going, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? And Copilot is at its most infancy that it's ever going to be. It's only going to improve from here as well. So you need to ensure that that ongoing training's there as well. The next is delivering the impact and tracking the progress. So you can track the progress and effectiveness of Copilot through Microsoft Copilot Dashboard, which provides insights into usage and adoption. So you really want to quantify that impact with the dashboard, and then that should also align with some of those goals from the first slide. What are those goals that you wanted to put in place as to why you were adopting this? That will help you quantify that impact. Regular cadence meetings with, call it the AI Council or the user group, are really important. And also publicly celebrating some milestones as to what Copilot may have brought into the business in any of those positions that people are in. And the final piece is the extending and optimizing Copilot for business needs. Again, Phil will touch on this a little more as well, but this is where you start going into some really tailored components of what Copilot can do. There's Copilot Studio. As an example, it comes with more than 1,200 different connectors, not just with the Microsoft stack, but also a whole lot of solutions and systems that sit outside that. Adobe, SAP, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle, Salesforce, SQL, Slack, you name it, a whole lot of these that Copilot can tap into. So it's not just a purely Microsoft environment type of AI tool. So this next piece is then, which often can take a little bit more investment and a little bit more planning, but this is where you get the most impact from a high-level business perspective. With that, I will hand over to Phil to take us through some demos and different components along the way. So thank you, Phil.
Thank you, John. Thank you. No, a great foundational piece. Look, my goal is for you to walk away with the confidence that the AI options, Microsoft portfolio of AI options, are applicable to your business and give you a bit of a framework, a bit of a skeleton to lean on in terms of understanding complexity, understanding applicability. My presentation not gonna be as slick in terms of props, in terms of slides, as Jonas, because I'm gonna generate it now using Copilot for M365. I have a Word document that contains the information I would like to present. It's called AI Levels in MSFT Landscape. So this is the agenda. I'm pretty happy with what it has done. Probably my document was well structured. I'm not gonna say, it was unstructured and didn't make sense and all of a sudden it made sense out of it. But that's how easy it is with M365 option to do something like present creation from the file. Is this presentation perfect? No, it's not. Will I spend, another hour refining it to make it slick and completely mine? Yep, absolutely. But for the purpose of our conversation, I think this prop is good enough for us to work off, right? And I see that apart from agenda, it has created pretty much nice slides with some contextual graphics for me to lean on. It created presenter notes for me, so I have something to talk to, and also providing with the original content. So I know it's not making things up, and Microsoft license holder is getting to very complex, very specialized, very customized, tailored, if you like, solutions that will do exactly the specific task that your business requires. And there is a spectrum in between, right? The framework I'm delivering today or sharing with you today is pretty much helping us to understand what those levels are. And the levels are not in terms of you should be progressing through these levels. It's more of a levels of complexity to adopt, complexity to integrate. But in the end, on the entry level, we have that conversational AI, basic and browser experience. The advantages of the entry-level AI, it's zero implementation, really. And if you using it with that enterprise data protection commitment, the safety and security of your data is on a acceptable level, I would say. Your data not gonna travel to third-party organizations. It's not gonna be held there. It's not gonna be used to train the models. You're not gonna have that sort of cross-pollination with potentially other users of the AI solution. There is no need to make any effort really to integrate it. It's already there. It's available. We have controls. It may require some licensing reviews because those controls are not available in every Microsoft option, but there are controls to prohibit the other, let's say, non-compliant ways to consume this entry-level AI. In our opinion, level 1 AI is the assistance, the intelligence embedded in your regular suite of applications. Great example, Copilot for M365, as we have functionality in Outlook, we have functionality in Teams, in SharePoint, in OneDrive, in Excel, in PowerPoint, you name it. Notepad, sorry, not Microsoft Notes, it's everywhere. Level 1 AI integrated in your applications and aware of your data what it does, it uses your user account, let's say my Microsoft ecosystem, and indexes all the data and will ground responses to your prompts or to the tasks you will set for it based on all the data you have access to. I'll give you an example. List all the documents shown, who is my prolific colleague, published in the last fortnight. So again, it has access to all the data that my account has access to, right? So if Sean placed those documents in the locations where I can see them, I'm gonna get the list. Okay, what was my last conversation with Jonah Perrin about? Jonah, I hope I'm not gonna reveal any secrets here, but what I'm trying to show is unusual options, right? Something we're not used to. Yes, we have good search through our emails. Yes, we have reasonable search for files in our OneDrives and SharePoints, but this is different. This is context aware. It can pick up on things that are not that straightforward, not that obvious for us to find. And again, this is a good summary. I really like it, right? And I can go to those messages or emails that it picked up as our last conversation, Jonah, and you will be my witness. This was actually the last thing we've discussed. This was yesterday, right? You guys were inquiring about details on the security assessment front, what can be done in that area. Let me show you another interesting scenario. I have this synthetic profit and loss statements for a NFP. One is Q4, previous financial year, let's call it, and one is Q1, let's call it new financial year, first quarter. And I'm preparing for a board meeting of sorts, right? I need to interpret this data. This is all I've got, right? What can I do with it? Employing this level 1 level of AI in order to help me. So I built this prompt which is pretty elaborate, I have to admit, and that's why I'm copy pasting, I'm not typing all of that. I'm telling pretty much we're making it a persona, giving it a role. You know, you're an experienced financial controller, asking it to analyze the spreadsheets, explaining what those spreadsheets have, asking for a report, asking for a comparison, asking for not so obvious conclusions from the data. And also I want to understand our forecasting accuracy, right? Well, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just upload those files for us and get it to work. Again, this is all real time. This is a pretty comprehensive report, right? We have good analysis, insights, some conclusions that are associated with it, that investment in marketing and promotion lower than forecasted has yielded positive results. It provided me with recommendations, and that's the conclusion. Give you a quick example of this sort of level 2 experience that was exposed to the whole organization. Within our organization, we have assistant exposed to everyone, doesn't matter if you hold in a license or not, that has different kind of areas of expertise. It provided me with an answer, and again, it provided me with the references. So I can click on a reference and actually go to the source, verify, and act further. And I also have this thumbs up, thumbs down options to provide feedback on responses. So that can be one of the ways you would implement access to your knowledge base to a wider set of employees, even for those who are not using Teams, who are not using SharePoint today. That was the summary of level 2, excellent, and overview of level 3. So this is where things get fairly complex. Again, we still have a straightforward pathway. I will even show you some of the shortcuts that we have at our disposal now. But this is AIification of your existing data. We can now take the data that you have in your SQL servers, make a mirror of that data in the cloud, and put AI on top of it, put Copilot on top of it. So you have more of a human level verbal experience interacting with your data. This is now possible. And the cost entry level is now very, very, very palatable. It used to be minimum 5K per month until about 2 months ago, where Microsoft kind of dropped the entry level requirements for that capability. Now it's accessible to everyone. And level 3 is about those custom solutions, about very specific workflows and processes that are tailored to your business, tailored to what you need, right? You can have internal data sources, external feeds. Let's say, if you're talking about some logistics company and they looking at how the profitability, how the margin depends on the weather patterns, seasonality of it, right? They have all those data streams, all those inputs. And now what becomes possible, you can analyze it with verbal prompts. And this is something we can work together with you to identify specific use cases on this level 2.5, level 3 for your business. We already have use case gallery for different industry verticals, for different solution areas. As you can see, numbers are staggering. And your use case doesn't have to be a perfect match to what we have in this library. If you have 60, 70% match, that's great, because then we can go in and tweak it and develop it. And it becomes much more palatable now, again, with the shortcuts, we're saving our time, we're helping to make the project work more affordable for you to embark on this journey. We know all the avenues to attract Microsoft funding in this case, potentially, again, to make the journey more affordable for you. We know, well, I would say that's where we can call ourselves experts, the security and compliance areas to cover well, to prepare well for this type of solutions. And I would strongly encourage to consider what can work for your business. Engage in a one-on-one conversation with Hubify. We can open up from there.
Really appreciate all that information, Phil, and also the fact that it was a live demo, which risky, as we know, but really good for people to say what it can do at those different levels as well. So just given the time that we have, where I quickly wanted to come in and talk about, Phil said there are no real experts in AI, and he's absolutely correct. I'm certainly not one. What we know about is this periphery component as to how you are able to make it a success in a business. How do you identify what you really want to get out of it, and what are the best use cases for it? What are the biggest challenges that can be overcome with automation and AI? How do we bring that leadership component into it to make sure it's aligning to business strategy and all of that sort of thing? How do we bring the human change into it so that from an employee's perspective, they're seeing this as a great addition to the business versus something that's potentially trying to take away from it? And how do we ensure that your technical readiness is there? And that's where we certainly play a part. So I've just got my details on here for those that don't have my personal details. Feel free to reach out, be it on LinkedIn or email or on my phone number there. But really appreciate everyone joining. Can take some of the questions that we've got from this. Like I said, also the recording will be available for everyone if you had some other things to do while this was going on, for you to relook through it as well. But really appreciate it, and look forward to the next one. Again, in the chat, if anyone wants to put in what they may like to see moving forward, then we can certainly take that on board. Phil, again, thank you very much for everything in terms of the live demos and the expert opinions on everything. Enjoy the rest of the week, everyone. Really appreciate it.